Hello and welcome to my channel, Hopewell Stories. Today's video is how he delivered pizzas to save his sister's life. Then one order changed everything. But before we dive into the full story, let me know where you're watching from and what time it is now, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It was cold that night. Rain fell like tiny needles from a dark sky. The wind howled through the empty streets of Maple Ridge, a small town where everyone knew each other's names or used to. But for 18-year-old Jake Miller, the town felt more like a prison than a home. Jake pulled his worn-out hoodie tighter around his neck and climbed onto his old red bicycle. It had one broken headlight and a squeaky wheel, but it was all he had. In his backpack, he carried a hot pizza box and a heart full of worry. He worked for Tony's Pizzeria, delivering food 6 nights a week. He didn't go to college. He didn't hang out with friends. He didn't even have time to sleep much, because every dollar he made went toward one thing: saving his little sister Lily. Lily was only 12. She was smart, funny, and loved drawing dragons in her sketchbook. But 2 years ago she got sick, really sick. The doctors said she had a rare blood disease. The treatment was expensive, way too expensive for Jake and his mom, who worked 2 jobs just to keep the lights on. Insurance didn't cover everything. The hospital kept sending bills, and the doctors said Lily needed a special transplant in 6 months, or she might not make it. So Jake dropped out of school. He took the pizza job. He worked late, rode through storms, and smiled at customers even when he wanted to cry. He did it all for Lily. Every night he came home, kissed Lily's forehead, and said, "Don't worry, Lil, I've got this." But deep down, he wasn't so sure. It was past 10 p.m. when the phone rang at the pizzeria. Jake said Tony, the boss, wiping flour off his hands. "Last delivery of the night. Big order. $20 tip if you get it there fast." Jake looked at the clock. He was tired. His legs ached. But $20 was 2 hours of hospital payments. "Where to?" he asked. 17 Blackwood Lane, rich side of town. Big house on the hill. Be careful, road's slick. Jake nodded, grabbed the box, and jumped on his bike. The ride was rough. Rain soaked through his jeans. The wind pushed against him like a wall. But he pedaled harder, thinking of Lily's smile, her weak voice saying, "I believe in you, Jake." After 20 minutes, he reached Blackwood Lane. The houses were huge, with long driveways and fancy cars. At the end of the road, a tall iron gate blocked the way. A sign read, "Private property, no trespassing." Jake hesitated. He'd never been here before, but the GPS said this was the place. He pushed the intercom button. A deep voice came through. "State your business." "Pizza delivery," Jake said, shivering. "Order for Mr. Grayson." Silence. Then a click. The gate slowly opened. Jake rode up a long, winding driveway. Trees loomed on both sides. At the top stood a massive house, more like a mansion, with dark windows and a stone porch. No lights were on, no cars in the driveway. "This is weird," Jake muttered. He knocked on the heavy wooden door. No answer. He knocked again. Finally, the door creaked open. A man stood there, tall, pale, wearing a black suit. His eyes were cold like ice. "You're late," the man said. "Sorry, sir. Rain slowed me down." The man took the pizza box without a word. Then he looked at Jake. "You're the delivery boy?" "Yes, sir." "Come in." Jake blinked. "I said go. I've got to get back." The man stepped aside. "It's cold out. You're soaked. Come in. Warm up. I'll get your tip." Jake hesitated. Something felt off, but he was freezing, and $20 was $20. He stepped inside. The house was huge, marble floor, chandeliers, but it felt empty, cold, like a museum. The man disappeared down a hallway. Jake stood there, dripping water on the floor. Then he heard a noise, from upstairs, a soft sound, like someone crying. Jake froze. It sounded like a child. His heart pounded. He thought of Lily. Before he could stop himself, he started up the stairs. The steps creaked under his weight. The crying grew louder. It was coming from a room at the end of the hall. Jake crept forward. The door was cracked open. Inside, a little girl sat on the floor. She looked about 10. Her hair was messy. Her face was pale. She was hugging her knees, crying. But what made Jake's blood run cold was the IV in her arm. Tubes, machines, a hospital bed. She was sick, like Lily. Jake stepped into the room. "Hey," he whispered. "Are you okay?" The girl looked up, startled. "Who are you?" she asked. Scared. "I'm Jake. I delivered a pizza. I heard you crying." She wiped her tears. "I'm Mia. I can't leave. He won't let me."
Who?
"The man downstairs." She nodded. "Mr. Grayson. He says I'm his, that my parents are gone, but I remember them. I remember my house. I want to go home." Jake's stomach twisted. This wasn't right. "Why are you here?" he asked. "He brings doctors, gives me medicine, says he's helping, but I don't feel better. I feel worse, and he watches me, always." Jake looked around. The room had no windows. The door had a lock on the outside. This wasn't a home, it was a prison. He pulled out his phone. No signal. "Yeah," he said gently. "I think you're in danger. I need to get you out." She shook her head. "He'll stop you. He's strong. He's scary." Just then footsteps echoed in the hall. Jake froze. The door swung open. Mr. Grayson stood there. His eyes locked on Jake. "What are you doing in here?" he growled. Jake stepped in front of me. "She's a kid. She's sick. You can't keep her here." Grayson smiled, cold and sharp. "You don't understand. Mia is special. She has a rare condition. I'm the only one who can help her." "That's not true." Mia cried. "I want my mom." Grayson's face darkened. "You should have left when you had the chance, boy." He lunged at Jake. Jake dodged, grabbing the IV stand and swinging it like a bat. It hit Grayson in the arm. The man growled and charged again. Jake grabbed Mia's hand. "Run." They sprinted down the hall, but Grayson was fast. He grabbed Jake's ankle. Jake fell. Mia screamed. Jake kicked back, hitting Grayson in the face. The man howled. Blood dripped from his nose. Jake scrambled up, pulled Mia to her feet, and ran down the stairs. The front door was locked. "No!" Jake yelled. Grayson was coming. Jake spotted a window in the living room, thick glass, but there was a heavy bronze statue nearby. He dragged it, swung with all his strength. Crash! Glass shattered. "Jump," Jake said. Mia hesitated. "It's high." "Now." They jumped, landing hard on the wet grass. Pain shot through Jake's legs, but he didn't stop. "Run," he shouted. They raced down the driveway, the rain hiding their tears and fear. Behind them, Grayson screamed, "You'll regret this." But they didn't look back. They didn't stop until they reached the edge of town. Jake found a gas station with a payphone. His hands shook as he dialed 911. When the police arrived, Mia hugged Jake tightly. "I was so scared," she whispered. "It's okay," Jake said. "You're safe now." The cops took Mia to the hospital. They found records. Mia had been missing for 8 months. Her parents had searched everywhere. Grayson wasn't her guardian. He was a former doctor who'd been fired for illegal experiments. He'd kidnapped Mia, pretending to treat her, while secretly using her for dangerous tests. The news exploded. Pizza delivery hero saves kidnapped girl. Teen risks life to rescue sick child. Jake's face was on every TV. Reporters came to his house. Cameras followed him. But Jake didn't care about fame. He only cared about Lily. 2 days later, a woman came to Tony's pizzeria. She wore a nice coat and carried a briefcase. "Are you Jake Miller?" she asked. Jake wiped his hands on his apron. "Yeah." The woman smiled. "My name is Dr. Elena Perez. I'm with the National Children's Health Foundation." Jake's heart skipped. "We've been following Lily's case," she said. "And after what you did for Mia, we want to help." Jake couldn't speak. Dr. Perez handed him a letter. Inside was official paper. It said Lily's treatment would be fully funded, all costs covered. A top specialist would take her case. The transplant would happen on time. "She's going to get better, Jake," Dr. Perez said softly. "Because of you." Jake sank into a chair. Tears fell. Not from sadness, from relief. He called his mom. She cried. Then Lily got on the phone. "Jake," she said. "Is it true? Am I going to be okay?" He smiled through tears. "Yes, Lil, You're going to be just fine. Life didn't change overnight. Jake still delivered pizzas. He still rode his old bike. But now he did it with hope. Mia recovered. Her parents thanked Jake like he was family. They invited him to dinner. He met her little dog, Sparky, and saw her room full of art, just like Lily's. One night, Jake sat with Lily on their small porch. Fireflies danced in the yard. Jake, Lily said, "Do you think heroes are real?" He looked at her. "Yeah, I think they are. Like Superman." He laughed. "Not exactly. I think heroes are regular people who do brave things when it matters. Like you, fighting every day." She smiled. "Then you're a hero." He ruffled her hair. "Nah, I just did what I had to." But deep down, he knew. That night, delivering a simple pizza, he had changed everything. Not just for Mia, not just for Lily, but for himself. He wasn't just a pizza boy. He was someone who stood up, who fought, who cared. And sometimes, that's all it takes to be a hero. Weeks later, Tony handed Jake an envelope. "What's this?" Jake asked. "Bonus," Tony said. "From a customer. Big tip. Said you saved more than just a delivery." Inside was $5,000, and a note. "For the boy who delivered hope. Use it well. No name, no return address." Jake smiled. Maybe the world was full of dark places, but it was also full of quiet heroes and second chances. He looked at Lily, drawing a dragon in her notebook. She looked up. "What are you smiling about?" Jake put the envelope in his pocket. "Just thinking," he said, "about the next delivery." And for the first time in a long time, he couldn't wait to ride his bike into the night. Because now, every turn of the wheel felt like hope. Every mile, a step toward a better tomorrow. And he knew, no matter how hard life got, he would keep going. For Lily, for Mia, for everyone who needed someone to believe in. He was Jake Miller, pizza delivery guy, big brother, and yes, hero. And his story was just beginning. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next video. Bye.